students, class 9, this is your teacher Vikram Singh Chauhan, and today we are going to do the concept for the exercise 1.5, and with that we will also do the solution of the exercise. Okay students, let's start with the properties of the rational numbers, which are going to play a very important role in this exercise. First of all, if I will talk about something, means if I will talk about addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of a rational and an irrational number. How? Like this: a plus root b, a minus root b, a root b divided by a. In this question, a is rational number, and this root part, root b, it is representing irrational number. So what I had done actually here I had done the addition of a rational and irrational number. In this I had done the subtraction of a rational and an irrational number. In this I had done multiplication of a rational and irrational number, and in this also I had done the division of an irrational number by a rational number. And one thing in the case of division, we must keep in mind that a must not be equals to 0, because if a will be equals to 0, then it will not be defined. So 0 we will not take, except 0 we can take any rational number. So what is the result? So this is the property. Then whenever addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, operation goes between a rational and an irrational number, then as a result we get irrational number. We can take example. Suppose 5 is rational, root 3 is irrational. 5 is a separate number, root 3 is a separate number, but when I will bring 5 and root 3 together, means by the help of any operation, suppose by the help of addition, then 5 plus root 3 becomes a different number. 5 was rational, root 3 was irrational, and in this case 5 plus root 3, which is a different number from 5 and root 3, it is a irrational number. In the same way, 5 root 3, 5 is rational, root 3 is irrational, and 5 root 3 is a different number from 5 and root 3, it is now become irrational number. That's what I want to explain you by this concept, that whenever we will do any mathematical operation between a rational and irrational number, addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, and keep this thing in mind, then in return we will get a irrational number. Just see it first. Students, now see a very important thing which is called surd. So what is surd? Any number which is written in this form, means having some root, and this is the power, means it can be a square root, cube root, anyone, and some rational number is inside that root. So this form of a number is called surd. We can take example, this is 7. It is called a surd. And always remember one thing, that surd is always an irrational number, because this number which is inside this root, it will never be come outside, so the surd will always be considered as an irrational number. And let us take some more information. This root part is called radical sign. It can be anything, square root, cube root, any power. And this power, now this is called order of surd, and a is called the radicand. Suppose in the same example, if I will ask you radical sign, it is there. Order of surd is n, it is 5. And what is the radicand? Radicand means the rational number inside this root, it is 7. So radicand in this case is 7. So why I had told you this thing? Because in this exercise we are going to deal with this kind of things. We will see them. Okay, let us try to understand this thing by the help of some examples. See, if suppose there is written root AB, okay, so we can write it separately as root A into root B, and we can see it in a reverse way also. Means how? If suppose it is root 2 into 3, we can write root 2 into root 3, or if anywhere is written root 3 into root 2, then what we can do? See, 3 is also having the square root, 2 is also having the square root. It means they are having the same root. It means they can be get multiplied under the same root, and we can get the answer 6. So by this we actually learn that if two numbers are there having the same roots, then those numbers can get multiplied within that same root, and the thing which will come as a product will be our answer. See one more case. This was the case first. Let's see second case. If suppose somewhere is written root 2 upon root 3. Okay, so can we write it separately? Yes, we can write it like root 2 upon root 3. And we can do in a reverse way also. If somewhere is written root 2 upon root 3, since 2 is also having the square root and 3 is also having the square root, so we can write both of them within the same square root. Okay? One more thing. If suppose it is root A plus root A, we have to add them. Okay, both are same. So it means root A plus root A means how many root A? It is 2 root A. Just see them in the same form. In the same form how? Suppose x plus x. Answer will come 2x. Let us see it by some more example. Suppose here is written 5. Okay, it is 5 root A plus root A. And I have just told you, just see them in the same way as we had done in the previous classes. Suppose it is 5. Just see them. X coefficient is 5. Here x coefficient is 1. So what we do actually? We actually add the coefficient. 5 plus 1, it will become 6x. In the same way, here also. Root A is, how many root A are here? 5. And here root A is 1. It means 5 plus 1. We will get 6 root A. Okay, in the same way we can do division also, we can do multiplication also, as I had told you here, or we can say subtraction. Understood? So let us come on the exercise, but before coming of the exercise we will see one thing: rationalization of the denominator. This topic is very, very important, because this topic is going to play a very important role in your class 10th. Okay, so the topic is, next topic is about rationalize the denominator. See it. Okay, students, now see on the board our next very important topic, rationalization of the denominator. How? See, in this we will get 3 cases, like we can say case first, 1 upon root A. Case second, it can be like this, 1 upon root A minus B, or we can say case third, it can be like this, 1 upon root A plus B, or we can say root B, no problem. Okay, so the topic is rationalize the denominator. It means we have to rationalize this part, denominator part. In this case also, in this case also, and in this case also. So how to rationalize this? What does it mean? It means that we have to remove this root sign. So how root sign can be removed? Root sign can be removed. Just see, just think about it. If somewhere is written root 2, if I want to remove this square root, if I put a square here, then it will become only 2. It means I have to put square here on, in this case on root A, in this case also on root A, and in this case on both root A and root B. Okay, so see the case first. How to bring square over here? For bringing square over here, we need one more root A. Okay, but it is a rule of maths that if you had multiplied something in denominator, then you have to multiply by the same number in numerator. So it will become root a upon root a whole square. So it will become root a upon a. Just see it. So what I had actually done here for removing this root sign, I had multiplied with itself so that square will come over it. But where I had multiplied here, then by the same number I had multiplied in numerator also. Okay, so our final answer becomes root a upon a. It means we have rationalized the denominator. Understood? Let us see one example. Suppose it is written 1 upon root 2. Okay, so we have to remove this root sign over 2. So how we can remove? In the same way, by multiplying it, by root 2 both in numerator and denominator. In numerator, root 2 into 1, it will become root 2, but in denominator it will become root 2 whole square. It means root 2 upon 2. Okay. Now come on case second and case third. For solving case second and case third, we will use the identity. Which one? A minus b, a plus b, because it will give as a result a square minus b square. We have seen it? Yes, we have seen it many times. Okay, it means first number both places, second number both places, okay, must be same, but the sign between them must not be same. If here is negative, then here must be positive, and then we can apply our identity a square minus b square, means in both the cases. Okay, so how to do it? So this will work. We want same thing, root a also will be there and b also will be there, but here is negative, it means we have to multiply by positive. Understood? And if we had done in denominator, it means we have to done in numerator also. So root a plus b into 1, it will become root a plus b, and in denominator. Now we can use our formula a minus b, a plus b, which gives a square minus b square. See here. Okay, so always remember one thing, that if it is having the minus sign, then you have to multiply by having the same digit but different sign. Here is positive, here you will take negative, and if here is negative, then here you will take positive. Okay, so we can apply in place of here a, it is root a whole square minus b square. So it will become root a plus b upon a minus b square, and in this way I have rationalized the denominator. Okay, let us see one example. That suppose it is written 1 upon root 2 minus 1. Okay, so we have to remove this root 2 sign. How? By in the same way, we will multiply it by root 2 plus 1, root 2 plus 1, both in numerator and denominator. Then in numerator it will be same, root 2 plus 1, but here it will use this identity. In place of a, it is root 2, in place of b, it is root 1. Having different sign means a minus b, a plus b, we will get a square minus b square. So what will become? Root 2 plus 1 upon root 2 square means 2 minus 1. So it will become root 2 plus 1 upon 1, and in this way we have rationalized our denominator. Okay, now come on case third. Any problem in this? No. We have to solve it in the same way as we had solved case second. How? Again we have to multiply. Okay, it is having the positive sign, so we have to take same numbers but with different sign. Root a minus root b, both in numerator and denominator. So root a minus root b into 1, it will become root a minus root b, but in denominator now we can use our formula. I had just told you now. So it will become root a whole square minus root b whole square. So what it will give? Root a minus root b upon a minus b. Root a square means a and root b square means b. Understood the concept? See it in a proper way. Okay students, now see on the board question number 1 of exercise 1.5. In this question what we have to do, there are 5 parts are there in this question and we have to classify the numbers as rational or irrational. Means these 5 parts are given and we have to tell that whether they are rational or irrational. Okay, see the part first. 2 minus root 5. I have just told you, if I will do the subtraction between a rational and irrational number, then in return I will get irrational number. Okay, now come on part second. 3 plus root 23 minus root 23. This is mess. Never give the answer just by seeing. If there is any possibility of solving, then first of all solve it, and after solving you have to give your answer. So can we solve it? Yes, we can solve it. How? First of all, remove this bracket. 3 plus root 23 minus root 23. See here, root 23 positive here, root 23 negative here, and we know in maths that if anything is having the same value but as a positive and negative, then they get cancelled out. So what we left? Only 3, and we all know we can write 3 in the form P upon Q, so it is a rational number. Understood? Now come on part third. So is there any possibility of solving? Yes. 2 root 7, it means 2 into root 7. 7 root 7, it means 7 into root 7. I have just explained you in concept. 2 root 7 is what? It is actually a number, it is actually a multiplication of a rational number with an irrational number. Okay, see, root 7, same thing, so they can be get cancelled out, and what is left? 2 upon 7, and it is a rational number. Okay, now come on part 4. It is 1 upon root 2, and we all know, I had told you in the properties that if a rational number is divided by a rational number, then we will get what in return? Yes, we will get irrational number. So it is an irrational number. 2 pi. We all know pi is, yes, irrational, and 2 is rational, and if a rational number gets multiplied with irrational number, then in return we get irrational number. Understood? See it in a proper way, and then we will do question number 2. Okay student, now see question number 2. In question number 2 there are 4 parts are given, and in these 4 parts what we have to do, we have to simplify it, we have to solve it. Okay, so we have to solve it. So this type of multiplication we had done before. Yes, so first of all what you have to do, just apply the simple trick. It means 2 plus root 2 have to get multiplied with 3 also. 2 plus root 2 have to get multiplied with root 3 also. So how? Take this 3, put some gap here, then plus root 3 again gap, and gap must be so much that we can put 2 plus root 2 here. Okay, in this way 3 will get multiplied with 2 also, root 2 also, and this root 3 will also get multiplied with 2 and root 2. Okay, 3 2s are 6 plus, and 3 root 2 I had already told, 3 root 2 I had told now. In this way rational and irrational number gets multiplied. Plus root 3 into 2 again 2 root 3. So whenever you will you gets multiplied and rational and irrational number, then put rational number first and then irrational number. Okay, plus root 3 into root 2. 6 plus 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3 plus, I had just told you 3 is having the square root, 2 is also having the square root. It means they can get multiplied within the same root. 6 plus 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3 plus 3 into 2, it will become root 6. Is it solved? Yes. 6, no other number is there. 3 root 2. Okay, I had just told you this root 2 is how many times? 3 times. but there is no root 2. Okay, so it is a different number. It is root 3. How many times? 2 times. 3 root 2 is a different thing and 2 root 3 is a different thing. I will just show you here. 3 root 2 means root 2 plus root 2 plus root 2. 2 root 3. It means root 3 plus root 3. Okay. So whenever you will do addition or subtraction of these kind of numbers, then always pay attention on the type of root. If it is square root, it means only square root values will be added or subtracted with it. It is having the cube root, then only cube root values will get added or subtracted with it. Okay. So this is our answer. Note it and see part second. Okay student, now see part second. We have to simplify it. 3 plus root 3 gets multiplied with 3 minus root 3. Just see it and recall what? A plus b, a minus b. It gives a square minus b square. It means in solving this we can use the help of, we can take the help of identity. Okay. In place of a it is 3, in place of b it is root 3. So we can write the answer a square minus b square. It means 3 square minus root 3 whole square. Put them in bracket. 9 minus root 3 square means only 3. So 9 minus 3 it will give answer 6. Okay. Note it. Okay student, now see part third, and in this part also recall it is just looking like the identity a plus b whole square. We can write a square plus b square plus 2ab. So can we use it here? Yes. In place of a it is root 5, in place of b it is root 2. So we can expand it. How? A square, it means root 5 whole square plus b square means root 2 whole square plus 2ab. It means 2 into root 5 into root 2. Okay. Root 5 square means 5. Root 2 square means 2. And here 2 into 5 is also having the square root and 2 is also having the square root. It means they can come within the same square root and gets multiplied with themselves. Okay. 5 plus 2, 7 plus 2, and 5 into 2 means root 10. So this is our answer. And one thing more, just see the part 4th. Part 4th is just same like part 2nd. In this part also you have to use that identity a plus b, a minus b, in which you will get your answer. Okay. See it and read question number 3 now. See now what actually question number 3 is saying. On the board you can see, recall pi is defined as the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. Means in question it is giving pi is equals to c upon d, where c is what? Circumference of a circle and d is the diameter of a circle. Okay. Now the question is saying this seems to contradict the fact that pi is irrational. Okay. How will you resolve this contradiction? It means question is saying that we all know in this previous exercises also in our chapter we had studied that pi is actually irrational. Okay. And we had also seen the definition of irrational numbers, that irrational numbers are those numbers which cannot be written in the form p upon q, where p and q are integers and q is not equals to 0. But in this question it is giving pi equals to c upon d. It means if we will just look it, if we will see it, then it is looking in the form p upon q. It means it must be a rational number. Okay. But we are having something different image now, that we all know that pi is irrational, and same thing question is saying that this contradiction. Okay, that if these two opposite things are coming in mind, then how you will solve it, resolve it. See, I had just told you in part first in question number 1 of this exercise that do not give the answer in mathematics just by seeing the things. First of all, we have to solve them and then we will give the answer accordingly. Okay, so let's see. So what is C here? C is the circumference of a circle. Do we know the formula? Yes, 2 pi r. D is what? Diameter of a circle. And what is the diameter? Can we write diameter of a circle in terms of radius? Yes, this is circle now, and this is the center, and suppose this is its diameter, this whole line, and from center to this point is radius. So diameter is actually what? Double of the radius. Okay, so can we solve it? 2 is cancelled by 2, r is cancelled by r. It is actually pi. No, we do not have any contradiction. And this was the method by which I had shown that actually I had written pi in the form this, but actually if I will solve it, then in return I will get pi. Okay, so we don't have any contradiction and we are now confirmed that pi is an irrational number. Okay, and this was the method of resolving it. Okay, now see question number 4. Okay, now see on the board, it is saying represent root 9.3 on the number line. Okay, in this chapter previously also I had told you, explained you about the spiral method. Okay, in that method, by the help of that method, we had represented root 2, root 3, root 5 on the number line. But here requirement is root 9.3. It means within square root some value is coming in point. Okay, so how to represent it? So we can represent it by following a process. Okay, see it in a very proper way. See, within this, so what is the requirement? Root 9.3 na? So by the help of scale, by your ruler, make one line, give it the name AB, and its length must be 9.3 units, because we don't know it is in meter, centimeter or what. Okay, so we can say just one thing, it is 9.3 units. Okay, second thing, from here, from this point 1, you have to increase this line up to point C by 1 more unit. Okay, so by the help of your compass we can find out the midpoint of AC. How? Just take a length more than half, put one arc from A here, again from A here, means one above the line and one below the line, and from point C again put your compass and intersect these arcs and join them. Okay, the place where these arcs will join. Okay, and this is the point where this arc had intersected this line AC, and we can give it the name O, and this is actually the midpoint. It means OA now equals to OC. So by the help of your compass, just by taking O as center, make one semicircle. Okay, it will start from A and end with C. Now at point B, again we have to make the angle of 90 degree in the same way as we had done in previous classes. First of all, semicircle, 2 arcs, and this we all know, this will be our angle of 90 degree, and let us give it a name BD. Okay, and extend this line, because this is our number line and on the same line we have to represent root 9.3. This actually BD, what we got here is root 9.3. Okay, so how to represent it? Again by the help of compass, put one arc taking BD as length. Suppose it intersects this line is E. It means we all know that BD will be equals to BE, so BE will also be equals to 9.3 units. So okay, in this way we can represent root 9.3 on the number line. Is it clear or not? Just see it. I am also giving some step of construction, and see the step of construction in a proper way. First of all, we have to draw a line AB such that AB equal to 9.3 units on the number line. Okay, first point. Second point, we have to produce this line from B up to point C such that BC equals to 1 unit. I told na BC equals to 1 unit. In third, we have to find out the midpoint of AC and mark it as O. In third step, I had find out the midpoint of AC and I had given it the name O. In part 4, draw a semicircle with center O and radius OC. I had told you that we have to make one semicircle, and in this case we will take O as center, okay, or we can, and OA, or we can say OC can be the radius, okay. So we will make one semicircle. In the next point, we have to draw a line perpendicular to AC passing through point B. We have to make one line perpendicular to AC from B and intersecting this semicircle at the point D, okay. So, and after that, taking B as center, draw an arc of radius BD which intersects number line at point E. I just told you, taking BD as length, you have to put one arc, okay. And now point E represent root 9.3 on the number line. This point E from B to E means from B to D, I just told you, it is now root 9.3. So from B to E, it is now root 9.3. No need of writing units here, just write it here, okay. Is it clear? Just see it. And now come on question number 5. Okay student, now in question number 5 it is saying rationalize the denominator of the following, okay. I had just told you the concept of rationalizing the denominator with example in the concept which I had just explained. I am doing part first and second, and part third and fourth you will do by yourself, okay. 1 upon root 7. So we have to rationalize it. So how? It will get multiplied by root 7 both in numerator and denominator. It will become root 7 upon root 7 whole square. So the answer will be root 7 upon 7, okay. In this case, same type of example I had taken now. So we have to convert it in the form a plus b, a minus b. So how? It is having the minus sign, so we will just change the sign and multiply it by using the same numbers in numerator and denominator, okay. So it will become root 7 plus root 6 upon a minus b, a plus b. It will become a square minus b square. So we will get root 7 plus root 6 upon root 7 square means 7 minus root 6 square means 6. Root 7 plus root 6 upon 1. In the same way, you have to do part third and fourth by yourself. And of the same kind we had done in examples also. So complete this exercise in a proper way, and in our next video we will do the exercise 1.6, last exercise of this chapter, okay. So keep studying and keep yourself safe. Thank you.